Whether you're working at a small startup or accomplished organisation, customers are the lifeblood of your business. They play an essential role not only in shaping existing business operations, but also the future. But customer churn can throw a wrench in the works and impact both short and long-term goals. So it's important to manage customer churn, and we're here to help. So, what exactly is customer churn? Customer churn is a metric highlighting how many of your customer base decided to no longer use your product and/or service during a certain period. Tracking churn rates can be important for knowing what's causing your customers to leave and how to respond to reduce those numbers. If customer churn is low and you're retaining customers, then your current strategy is working. But if customer churn is high, then you need a new approach. So, how do you calculate customer churn? You need to divide the number of customers lost during a particular period by the number of customers you had at the beginning of that particular period. So, why is churn such a big deal? The odd customer can slip through the net, it's inevitable, but few companies can afford to rapidly lose a lot of customers at once. Attracting new customers is much trickier than keeping hold of existing ones. Therefore, reducing churn is essential. There are different types of churn: involuntary and voluntary. Involuntary churn is when a customer's access to a product or service is ended by your side. If payment methods can't be processed, or the customer is violating their contract's terms and conditions, these are typically considered suitable grounds for the company to bring an agreement to a close. Voluntary churn, however, is when the customer stops using the product or service on their accord. This can be attributed to factors such as poor service quality or financial reasons. Now, let's discuss what causes churn. Whether voluntarily or involuntarily, there's always a reason. Here are some of the common ones. So the first is pricing. Your pricing strategy can have a big influence on customer retention and churn. Pricing is tricky because not everyone has the same budget. You need to understand your customers' budgets, which takes customer and market research, so you can determine an appealing price point. If customers believe your product is overpriced, they'll seek a lower priced alternative. However, underpricing can be detrimental too, as people might have assumptions on how much a quality product or service should cost and decide your price points are too good to be true without concrete proof of its value. And then we've got poor customer service. Even with the best product on the market, poor customer support networks and user experiences will lead your customers to look elsewhere for solutions. So ask yourself, if a customer experienced a problem and needed technical support, could they get the help they need quickly, efficiently, and practically? If you're unable to answer each of these questions with a resounding yes, go back to the drawing board and start from scratch, because poor customer service can result in sky-high churn rates. Next, we're going to take a look at lack of customer engagement. Companies need to create an emotional bond between their brand and their customers. When brands engage with their customers, this makes them feel special, prompts customers to buy regularly, and promotes products and services. Customer engagement is an essential part of a successful product marketing strategy. When companies don't engage with their customer base, people have no emotional ties with the organisation, which gives them less incentive to stick around. Another reason can just be that your product doesn't deliver. Your customer purchases your product to solve a specific pain point. If their eyesight is bad, they'll buy a pair of glasses. If their car's too small for their family, they'll head to the dealership and buy a new, bigger one. However, if a customer buys a product and it doesn't address their pain point, the problem hasn't been solved. They could find themselves in a worse position than they were before. This prompts them to churn and look for something that does meet their needs. Next, we've got flaws, glitches and bugs. A faulty product is a surefire way to cause churn. When there are technical issues with a product or service, even minor ones can have a domino effect. What impacts one user can produce problems for others in their circle, whether it's co-workers, friends, family or customers. And this kind of domino effect often leads to high rates of churn. Next, maybe the customer deems you a luxury. When budgets are cut, key stakeholders need to decide what to keep and what to sacrifice. If your product or service is deemed an unnecessary expense, you'll often be the first to be cut to reduce expenses. So, now we've laid the groundwork, let's discuss how you can reduce your customer churn. Reducing customer churn is high on the agenda for every company, or at least it should be. Check out some ways you can reduce customer churn and boost those all-important retention rates. So, number 1, act on customer feedback. You need to put the customer's needs first. If they're not happy, you're leaving yourself susceptible to higher churn rates. Never make decisions based on internal assumptions. Speak with your customers and validate your hypotheses. Speak directly to customers and keep them in the loop on how you're responding to their feedback. Remember, feedback isn't just looking for what might have gone wrong. Feedback can be important to get to know what your customers like about you, which you can then make the focus of your messaging and positioning. Be proactive so you can address potential problems early. Number 2 is incentivizing customers. Rewarding your customers can be great for keeping them engaged, and a freebie is a go-to tactic used by many organisations. The last stamp needed for a free coffee and a loyalty card is a powerful motivator to choose where to go to get your latte, for example. Number 3, personalise your messaging. Personalising your comms and developing and establishing product messaging can work wonders when you're trying to retain your customers. Customers are interested in relevance. If they are targeted with products that aren't appropriate for their age, demographic, price, budget, and so on, the likelihood is they'll focus their attention on companies who take the time to learn about what they want. Impersonal messaging suggests your company hasn't taken the time to learn about the customer and their requirements, and they'll be made to feel like a mere statistic. Number 4 is identifying the actual problem. You must establish what's causing people to take their custom elsewhere. Sometimes companies can be embarrassed about reaching out and asking churned customer users why they're not happy. But as long as you approach the customer the right way, many will be happy to provide feedback to help you identify areas for improvement. Number 5, make sure you use your findings. Develop a thick skin, listen to criticism, and use feedback to improve your future strategy. After all, what is the point in searching for an answer if you're going to hide from the truth? Number 6, share your knowledge. Customer success teams are critical for understanding the impact of customer churn, but sharing your findings shouldn't stop there. Every team across the business is informed of your findings. Be sure to communicate internally and share essential information with your colleagues. If it becomes clear a particular product feature has flopped, it's essential your product team is aware so they can learn from the situation too. Similarly, if a customer is churned because they aren't happy with your sales team's service, consider internal training so they can provide a higher quality customer experience in the future. And number 7, go above and beyond. Consumers love getting more than they bargain for, and complimentary services can make a world of difference in keeping your customers loyal. Small yet significant details will go a long way to building trust and confidence amongst your customers, and they'll be inclined to stick around for much longer as a direct result. While no business is immune to customer churn, with the right mindset and strategies in place, it's manageable. Remember, every customer has unique needs, preferences, and pain points. A deep understanding of these factors and a tailored approach to meeting them can not only reduce churn, but also cultivate a thriving community of loyal customers. Thanks for watching.